Hello, everybody. Welcome to Two Guys, One Coup, episode 5 on the Patriots Prayer Network. Today, we are going to be celebrating July 4th. I know it is July 3rd, but we're going to be celebrating July 4th. I have some speeches and some video I'd like to show you from the great President Ronald Reagan and the great one himself, Rush Limbaugh. I want to make sure we get some of that in there. Today on the show, we are going to be reviewing what the Supreme Court did the best I can. I'm not a legal scholar, but I want to review some of that. I also want to review some things. The Mexican Cartels have some new weapons, and I want to find out how they were able to get those. Some new polls that have come out that are quite interesting. One scary, one interesting in itself. So, folks, stay tuned for that and so much more on this great episode of Two Guys, One Coup.
Welcome to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast with Dale and Jim, where the truth matters and progressives' feelings don't. We bring you the facts from the perspective of two average, everyday guys who will never apologize for being America first, for adhering to our great Constitution, and for saluting the flag that our brothers and sisters have fought and died for. And now, here's Dale and Jim.
Well, it's just Jim again today. As I mentioned, Dale and his wife are on a much-deserved and hopefully they're having a wonderful time on their vacation. I know it didn't start out very well. I won't go into that, but prayers and everything needs to be said. But again, Dale, and I just hope you're having a great time. Can't wait to have you back Monday. It's just not the same without the banter. So I'm doing the best I can. Miss you and can't wait to have you back. Folks, before we get into the Supreme Court and the left completely having a meltdown, which I love it when they do that, I wanted to quickly put a cap on the debate because now we know what happened. I mean, he just would have taken some Dayquil or something. Maybe President Biden would have performed better. Listen to this.
President Biden had a cold on Thursday. What medications was he taking in the days or hours leading up to the debate?
And I know that question has come in a couple of times to us. He was not taking any cold medication.
Was he taking any medication that would have interfered with his
He was not
performance?
taking any cold medication. That is what I can speak to. I've asked his doctor, and that's what he stated to us. It was a bad night. We understand that it was a bad night. And the president has spoken to this. And he understands that. And so I cannot speak to anything beyond what I just shared. The president has regular annual physicals that we release in a thorough report. We're going to continue to do that. I don't have anything else beyond that.
God. Let's face it, whether you like her or not, she has the toughest job. I mean, it's her job to spin what this administration does. It's her job. She does a terrible job at it. I get it. But, folks, what we saw during the debate, dang it, it was a cold. It was a cold. So I think we should all stop and forget, apologize for everything we said because, he had a cold. I don't know about you guys, but my BS meter is about as high as it can possibly get because that was not a cold. That was a man who is losing his faculties. That's what it is. I shouldn't say losing, has lost his faculties, and that whatever drugs they're giving to him are not enough right now. And it's on the downswing. So, and again, man, are the Democrats imploding on themselves on this one. Anyway, so we'll get more into that in a minute. But I wanted to talk about the Supreme Court coming down and pushing the ruling to the lower courts that the president does have some immunities. Folks, it's been this way for as long as I can remember. Presidents have to have some immunities when they're in office as president. They make decisions that cost people possibly their lives or possibly drastic things can happen. This is what it's for. They have to be protected. Even the ones that I dislike, they have to be protected because you can't go after them. Okay, so you can misinterpret whatever the heck the left is misinterpreting about this. They did not give him carte blanche to go out and do whatever the heck he wants to do. They did not do that. Anything that he does, an act of the president towards his job as president, is protected under immunity. Give you an example. Let's say a president goes out and withholds money from a country until they stop investigating or they fire the prosecutor that's investigating this president's son, and he withhold money until they fire that prosecutor. That would be something that is beyond the control of presidents, right? This is what he did as vice president under Barack Obama's tenure. That is not allowed, folks. Okay, what President Biden is doing now to go after President Trump to try and put him in jail, that is outside his scope as president. That is what that ruling means, folks. It's not President Trump can go out and assassinate whoever he wants to. That is not what it is. That is not what it means. Every president has had immunity. All right, and I'm going to give you some examples real quick. Barack Obama, during his presidency, we had Benghazi, right? We heard about it. We know about it. I mean, the left still doesn't know what happened, but that's fine. That they don't care. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about anything. But should he be held legally accountable for what happened? Should he be? No, that he made a decision as the president, and this is what happened. The outcome was terrible. It was a terribly done thing. We all know that. They left our soldiers to die. They left our ambassador to die. They left a number of people there to die. But he needs to be have immunity from that, okay? Because that was a decision he made as president. So he shouldn't be allowed to be sued. He shouldn't be allowed. Now, I wish he would be accountable for what he did. I wish he would come out and say, yeah, that, all this and that. And of course, Hillary's participation in that was another issue, but she wasn't president. She thinks she is, but she wasn't president. And then the other one going a little bit further back to President Clinton. Okay, we all know what that is, right? Black Hawk Down, great book, great movie. He did not supply our military with the proper equipment. We saw it, we heard about it. They requested it. They did not supply them because they didn't think this was just in and out, done, over. We move on. Should he be held accountable for those soldiers who lost their lives? Nope. I don't think he should be prosecuted on it. I don't think he should be sued. I don't think anything should happen because he made a decision, the president, bad decision, but it was what he made as a president. Okay. President Bush, the second Gulf War, when we went after Iraq to remove Saddam Hussein. Weapons of mass destruction. So we can debate that all day, whether they had them or not, but did they have them? Did they not have them? But the whole point of the matter is he caused an entire war because of those things. Should he be legally accountable for that? No, he made a decision as the president, whether you agree with it or not, whether it was the right decision or not, he is entitled to that immunity. You have to be as president. You have to be. Can you imagine if you take that immunity away? No one's going to want that position. No one's going to want it. You can't have your hands tied. So, folks, before everybody jumps off the deep end and oh, my God, President Trump is going to be open to do all this stuff, which is what the Democrats are doing, by the way. It just means that what happened during January 6th, he cannot be prosecuted for because he was in an act of, as president, he has that immunity. That is what they said. Justice Roberts did not say he can go out and do whatever the heck he wants. He's above the law. He stated they are not above the law. However, they do have some immunities when they make decisions as president. And folks, but whether January 6th, I get tired of talking about it because it's not the issue that everybody wants to think it is. But he did not tell them to go down and riot. He did not tell them to that. He told them to go down and peacefully protest that your rights were being taken from you from the election. That's what he did. Okay, that's what happened. That's what he did. So he's immune to that because as president, no matter what the Democrats try to make up, right? Because they're making all this crap up. Well, the document case, all right, there was nothing there. He has some immunities there, like all other presidents have had for these documents. All right, so anyway, we leave into that, but it was Alan Bragg's decision to bring some evidence into the trial, okay, for the hush money. There was evidence bringing that in. It was his decision to bring in things when he was president, okay. Presidential immunity, folks. It's there. It's there for a reason. No, what he did with the hush money, if whatever they accused him of doing happened before he was president, I get that. But they brought up things when he was president, so that was their fault, their error. They shouldn't have done it. Folks, I am not a legal scholar. I wish I could reach out to our retired judge that we have on the show, John Wilson, who wrote the book Making a Martyr. By the way, please go out to Amazon and look that up. Again, retired Judge John Wilson wrote the book Making a Martyr, talks about all these cases against President Trump. But folks, it's powerful what happened. The Supreme Court did not make a mistake. But one quick thing before I get to some comments that other people have made about this, the liberal left. Does anybody remember when they had no problem at all with the Supreme Court going completely against the Constitution and ruling against the people of the United States when the certain Obamacare came through? They didn't seem to have a problem that it was 5-4. They had no problem then. The mandate that was put on that Obamacare, where you remember, everybody remembers it, right? If you didn't have, when you go in and do your taxes, if you don't have any evidence that shows that you have healthcare, whether it's with business, whether it's personal, whether it's through the healthcare network, whatever. If you didn't have it, what did you get? You got fined. That's unconstitutional. You cannot fine an American citizen for not getting healthcare. You can't do that. We know that. That was against the Constitution. Justice Roberts ruled in favor of the left. They agreed and sided with the left. Where was the we were upset with it because it literally was against the Constitution, but Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi didn't seem to get upset about it then, did they? No, it was okay then. So now they're threatening to stack the courts, which is always a great idea when liberals get on the court, right? Conservatives vote on the conservative nature of the law and Constitution. Okay, the left are the ones that try to say they're going out, they're radicalizing and everything else. It's their side that makes up the rules. It's their side that wants to change the laws. I mean, they have a Supreme Court justice that can't even identify what a woman is. Okay, so again, folks, the Supreme Court did what they did because the president has to have immunity to some extent, right? They can't go out, like I gave you the description, they can't go out and do what Joe Biden did as a vice president. They can't do what he's doing as a president, going after and trying to put his opposition in jail. Okay, can't do that. That is outside of your scope of being president. So anyway, so we go in to look at, I want to talk first of all about does anybody know this Biden's support? They call him the super fan. I call him a complete and total imbecile. But his name is sorry, I got to get this up here because Sisson is his last name. But he's let's see, let me go into this. I'm very, very sorry. Yeah, his name is Harry Sisson. He's a he's Gen Z, big time supporter. He's all over. He does everything he does. But folks, listen to what he said. He posted that SEAL Team 6 should go in and take all of them out. He means Trump, President Trump, and the Supreme Court justices, the conservative Supreme Court justices. That's what he said. According to the Supreme Court, Biden can now send SEAL Team 6 to take out all of them, wrote Sisson. He could send the military to take out Trump. He has immunity for official acts now. This is how stupid this kid is. And not to mention the fact that he has a ton of followers. People follow him. President Biden went on his show. That is not what it says. Okay, that is at all not what it says. This is what his rendition of. You cannot do that. You cannot go in and do an assassination. So, Harry, sit down, shut up, and just get the heck out. But so he says that. So, folks, can you imagine if anybody on the Patriot Network would have said, send the SEAL Team 6 after President Biden, Chuck Schumer? What do you think would have happened to us? I think we're going to be investigated, in my opinion. Just, I could be right, could be wrong, but I guess they're allowed to say it. Chuck Schumer, MAGA, SCOTUS, making it putting Trump above the law. First of all, folks, it's president above the law. It's not just President Trump, it's presidents. Okay, so this protection is for all presidents, including the potato in chief that's in there right now. Okay, so we know that the left is going to go nuts. We know that they're going to go crazy. But Chuck Schumer now is very, very upset at how the 6 justices voted per their stances. No, the 6 justices voted on what the law is. That's what they did. The left can change it out however they want to. But he's okay with the other 3, their side justices, ruling with their views. Okay. Again, going back to Obamacare, it was okay when they took our rights away, okay, by charging us if we didn't have health insurance. Again, you see the comedy here? It's funny. But Schumer goes off and he's just typical Chuck Schumer, complete and total buffoon. And then goes now the Democrats now vow fierce attack on oversight for the Supreme Court. I haven't even gotten to the best one yet, folks. Okay. So the left is just going completely berserk. Okay. The framers of the Constitution envisioned a democracy governed by the rule of law and consent of the American people. Did they not intend for our nation to be ruled by a king or a monarch who could act with absolute impunity? This is from House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, only about 2 away from being Speaker of the House. Okay. Again, that is not what this said. They can spin it however they want to. They want to get their base riled up. They want to get their base so angry. Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman, Democrat, New Jersey, called for a binding code of ethics and expansion into the court. Okay, I would like to do that as well for the 3 other justices. I want that to be done. But nope, that's not going to happen. And then my favorite one, AOC. God, don't you just love her? No, you don't. Despicable. She is going to call upon actions for impeachment. She is going to try to impeach the Supreme Court for going against the law. They did not go against the law, folks. They did not. But she says they did. So AOC speaks. She tells the truth. So we need to listen to her, right? God forbid those who do. So the left is now in, oh my God, they're angry mode now, right? They're just, the Supreme Court gave President Trump. No, the Supreme Court gave all presidents the help and the assistance. That I shouldn't say help and assistance, but immunity from prosecution for decisions they make. It's funny watching the left completely go berserk. It really is. I love it. I think it's great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to play the first of what I call the Ronald Reagan patriotic speech. It's 3 minutes and 33 seconds, so please bear with it. I think it's worth to hear. So I want to play it right now after all this crap. I didn't want to play any videos of those individuals. Schumer, AOC, Nancy Pelosi. I refused to show them. I did show the Jean Paul, or Pierre Jean Paul, what she said about the cold, but I don't want to disrespect these 2 individuals, President Reagan and Rush Limbaugh, putting those buffoons on at the same time. So folks, please watch this.
If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David, they add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom. Each one of those markers is a monument to the kind of hero I spoke of earlier. Their lives ended in places called Belleau Wood, the Argonne, Omaha Beach, Salerno, and halfway around the world on Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Pork Chop Hill, the Chosin Reservoir, and in 100 rice paddies and jungles of a place called Vietnam. Under one such marker lies a young man, Martin Treptow, who left his job in a small-town barber shop in 1917 to go to France with the famed Rainbow Division. There on the Western Front, he was killed trying to carry a message between battalions under heavy artillery fire. We're told that on his body was found a diary. On the flyleaf, under the heading, My Pledge, he had written these words: America must win this war. Therefore I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost as if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone. We must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have. It is a weapon that we as Americans do have. Let that be understood by those who practice terrorism and prey upon their neighbors. As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it now or ever. We are Americans.
Did you hear his voice crack? I mean, that is a man that loved this country. That is a man that loved what the United States stood for. And that is a man that worked his life, his 8 years in presidency, to make sure we as Americans were safe at all times. A lot of people don't like him. And I know there's idiots out there that did this list that they talked about on the debate that President Trump was dead last on this list. But what they didn't mention is President Biden and President Obama were ahead of President Reagan. President Reagan, top 5, no questions. And if you consider yourself a scholar, a presidential scholar, and you don't have him in the top 5, get out. You're not. You're biased against conservatives. That's what you are. So anyway, that was that. I have a couple more I want to play. One more from him and then one more from Rush. That was the longest one, but I just felt it was important on today's day, because we are July 4th tomorrow. We're going to celebrate this country. We're hurting right now. Okay, there's some messes going on, but this country is still the best country in the world. And we need to make sure we fight for it and we keep it. And that's what the Patriots Prayer Network and myself are trying to do, and Dale on Two Guys, One Coup. We're just trying to get the word out, trying to get people to understand America's America. And though we have faults, though we have made mistakes, damn it, where else would you want to live? All right. So as we go into a little bit, we know about the hush money trial, right? And some of you may know this, some of you may not, but I have another quick video, minute video. Folks, Congress has hush money fund. Ready?
Congress has paid over $17 million in hush money for sexual misconduct inside of the offices in these buildings. And what's more is that was taxpayer money, right? The allegation is that President Trump paid $130,000 of his own money. But here in Congress, there may be some on this dais. I mean, I'm for turning loose all of these records. Who in here has had the taxpayer pay for their sexual misconduct charges the hush money? I bet there's some over there. There may be some over here. I don't know, but I do know it's taxpayer money, and I do know not a single penny of it has been turned in as a campaign finance expense. Is the FEC going to investigate the $17 million that the Congress has paid to settle, behind closed doors, these sexual misconduct allegations.
$17 million, folks, for hush money that has been utilized. Our money, by the way, for hush money, whether it's getting an intern pregnant or whether it's having an affair with an intern or whatever, it's hush money. And again, I've been saying this all along. They hold President Trump under a different standard than anyone else that has ever served. Why is that? Well, he's not a politician. And what he has done in his 4 years when he was president, he has stopped that. He has tried to stop the wasteful spending of that. Yes, I know he did spend a lot of money, but if you look at what he spent it on, it was military and defense, because Republicans do that. We spend money on military. We give raises to our, the conservative gives raises to our military personnel who are fighting for this country, unlike Biden, who refuses to give them, but we're going to give billions and trillions of dollars to the Ukraine. Anyway, I digress again. But folks, it's okay for them to do it. But President Trump can't do it. And President Trump didn't do it. I get it. Okay. But this is what they accused him of when this is going on at the same time. This is how evil and diabolical the left is. They know this stuff's out there. They don't care. They frankly don't care. They cheated in 2020 to steal the election. They know it. Evidence is coming out. They don't care. They absolutely don't care. This is a horrible group of people, dangerous to this country and dangerous to us as American citizens. I'm going to have one more video, and it's on the illegals. How much is this costing this country? And then I'm going to go to a commercial break. So here's the next one on money for illegals.
Many illegal immigrants are given taxpayer-funded housing compared to the number of homeless veterans that are sleeping on the street.
We did, then I would be able to give you a
but
very
do you know
good,
the answer? Because
good.
I do. I appreciate your opinion of which you have no facts on, but let me continue and let me educate you some more. So you might want to get a pencil and paper and take some notes because I'll help you do your job. 5.8 billion in SNAP, 10 billion in Medicare, 8.2 billion in uncompensated hospital expenditures, 3 billion for primary and secondary education for illegal immigrants. We could funnel some more of that 66 billion to our homeless veterans. Anyone opposed to that? I'll tell you why we're not doing it, because the Biden administration does not want to do it. Am I correct? Am I incorrect on that? I didn't think so. The American people are not fooled. Let's just be honest about where this money is going. Let's start with our veterans. Thank you. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Billions, folks, $66 billion to aid the illegals coming in, to feed them, to house them, while we have American veterans fought for this country. Whether it's PTSD, what other illnesses they have, they don't care. This administration does not care if they're on the street. They don't care. Well, we do. This money has got to stop going to these illegals. The money has to stop going to the Ukraine to defend this war that they're fighting because they're breaking us. That's why Putin hasn't gone in. I mean, you sit there and tell Putin that, you know, America keeps giving money, and they know that the American people are not happy with it. We're getting upset with it. You think he's going to be in a hurry to end the war? No, he's not. And because he can end it, and not with nuclear, but he can end it if he wanted to, just one blitz in there. Okay. So that is that. But the money that goes to illegals, it's frustrating. But folks, good cup of coffee in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, whatever. Smoking gun coffee. Absolutely great taste. Great aroma, everything that you could ask for in a coffee. Please watch.
Born in the coastal plains of South Texas, Smoking Gun Coffee is founded by combat veterans that know exactly what a cup of coffee needs to taste like. Run by father and son, each coffee bean is perfected, roasted at 500 degrees, and cooled with a Gulf Coast breeze. Smoking Gun Coffee hand makes and bags each ounce of coffee for maximum customer satisfaction. With every purchase, 10% goes back to organizations that help veterans and local communities. That's Texas made, one bag at a time. To find out more, go to www.smokingguncoffee.com.
Folks, that is Smokin', SMOKIN. Make sure you do not do smoking gun coffee. It is smoking gun coffee, and it is fantastic. And for a special treat for all of you, for the Patriots Prayer Network, if you go up to where it says Coffee Club, click on the Coffee Club, and there is a list of 6 of us on there. You click on that list, you become part of the club, you get the coffee, and the emblems of your favorite shows are on there. So, for instance, 2 Guys, 1 Coup. Use the code 2 Guys, 1 Coup when you're checking out to get it, and then you will get your bags with our logo on it. You'll get your bags with the Raising Cain, Alexandria 360, the Base Mother, the Patriots Prayer podcast, all of ours. You get it on there. It's really cool, really exciting, and you get coffee delivered. You don't have to forget. If you forget, oh my God, I didn't go to, doesn't matter. They deliver it to you. So excellent coffee. Please go out and buy it. 2 Guys, 1 Coup as the code. All right. So as we get into more of this stuff that we're having come around, we come out of the break. I want to play. I'm going to end with President Reagan. So I'm going to play Rush Limbaugh, the great one. It's 2 minutes, 34 seconds, not as long as the other one, but I'm sure everybody listening, this man, I'm going to be honest with you. When he started out, I just wasn't sure. Okay. The arrogance that he seemed to have, but I wasn't listening to what he said. You know how we always do that. We all have that problem where we just, whether we don't like the way somebody said something or we don't look at them in certain ways, but then we sit back and think about it like normal people do. I was wrong, and I can admit I was wrong. I became a huge fan of Rush Limbaugh, mostly thanks to my mother-in-law. Thank you very much, because she is probably one of the biggest Rush Limbaugh fans around there. But she helped me, basically listen to him, hear what he had to say. And over the years, I became a huge fan of Rush Limbaugh. Folks, listen to this. This is Rush Limbaugh on Why America is Great.
Call here and now that, Rush, you always told us. You told us when it's going to be time to panic. Well, is it time to panic? Well, let me just tell you, folks, it's never going to be time to panic, because we're never going to give up. We're not going to give up on America. I'm not. I don't think most of you are either. And while we have that attitude of not giving up, we are constantly going to be searching, strategizing, coming up with ways to prevail. We've got the basics. We have millions and millions of Americans that are fed up, can't wait to do something about it. There will be a series of ideas that people come up with based on dealing with the fraud that we know we have to deal with. But America's worth it. America is worth fighting for. America's worth not giving up. And that's why I think whatever form it takes, we will continue to fight for and to defend and to triumph. I know the odds are, they're stiff and they're steep. The American left is made up of a lot of people that hate this country. Hate is a very, very destructive frame of mind. It's a very, very destructive characteristic. And eventually it results in implosion. You cannot survive on hatred. You cannot sustain a movement based on it. We just need to be patient while being vigilant and continuing to fight for what we believe in, knowing full well that we can prevail. And while we may not have the golden goose idea right now for how to do it, there are countless people thinking about it, strategizing. We're not alone. You're not alone. You're not a singular individual all by yourself out there trying to fight these people by yourself. There are 74 million plus and growing.
Well, folks, that was a great one. Rush Limbaugh. The voice of conservatism. He's spot on. And when he made a comment about the liberal left is they hate this country, watch them. Just watch them. They're not happy. They're never happy about anything. So I always wondered why you be a liberal, because none of them smile. I mean, they don't smile. It's what America is what they're against. And that's why they're trying to make 1% of the population, or if you even want to go progressives, liberals, you can say, okay, up to 15 to 20% of the population is deciding how the rest of us live. And that is why you're starting to see more people stand up. You see more independents coming over saying, no, this isn't going to happen. You start seeing the black population. You start seeing Hispanics. You start seeing women. You start seeing younger generation, mostly the base that the left has. They're coming over because they see that this is not right. This is not America. All right. Freedoms. We always have to hear, remember how they always sit there and say, which I love when Democrats say, it's a threat to our democracy. First of all, we're a constitutional republic, but AOC doesn't even know, probably doesn't even know how to spell it, but we're a constitutional republic. So even let's go with what they're saying. It's a threat to democracy. Who's the threat to democracy? The group that wants to silence the right vote or the right voice on the social media networks. Is that the one? Are we trying to destroy democracy by, during the 2020 election, not playing the story about Hunter Biden's laptop? I mean, hiding it, literally hiding it because they were told to. Who's the threat to democracy, folks? It's not conservatives. It's not MAGA. It's not President Trump. It's not. It's the left. The left are the threat to constitutional republic and democracy. They don't give a crap about this country. They want money. They want to own you. They want to control you. And by God, they're doing a good job of riling up their bases, because that's all this is doing. Getting them angry. Protest happen. They don't care. Burning plants down, burning companies down, burning businesses. They don't care. They don't care. They don't give a crap. And they don't give a crap that it usually happens in a very poor areas of cities. They don't care. They don't care. They just want their power. They want to control it. Everybody, this is kind of an old story, but I thought maybe some of you may not have heard it. But Missouri's Attorney General is suing New York over reprehensible lawfare against Trump, poisonous to American democracy. The Attorney General Andrew Bailey filed a lawsuit against the state of New York, alleging it violated Missourians' First Amendment right to hear from former President Trump during the 2024 election. So what they're doing, in a nutshell, I wish other attorney generals of other states would get involved in this. Maybe they have, I don't know, but this is a great thing. New York, okay, Bragg, and I can't, her name right now is Letitia James, the attorney general. They have basically decided, or tried to decide, who Republicans are going to have as president, because they want to get this guy out of there. They want to get President Trump out of there. And you got to ask yourself why. Why do they want to get him out of there? And it's not because of all the things they accused him of doing, because it's proven that he didn't do any of those things, because he's a danger to them, because he can't be owned. He can't be bought. He literally fights for this country. Everybody, he fights for this country. They don't like it. They can't stand it because they don't get their special things that they get. They don't get their $17 million hush money. You know, they maybe that needs to be put somewhere else. Our taxpayer money pays for that. It's just insane. But I just wish other attorney generals would fight this, because what is happening right now, they're trying to take away the Republicans' decision for president, whether they like it or not. He's the one that won in the primary. So he is our choice for president. Get on board. But here we go. So I think that's an exciting thing. I think it's important to note, because I really wish other attorney generals, state of Indiana, Todd Rokita, I really hope he does. I hope he does, because we need to get back on this. We need to make sure that our voices are heard, because I'm in the state of Indiana, right? Okay, they don't care. The left doesn't care about us. We're flyover. They want the bigger areas where the population's at. But we in Indiana care. We are very conservative. We have a supreme majority over the House, our internal House and internal Senate. We are a conservative state. Yeah, we have liberal areas, but we are a conservative state. I don't want New York deciding what happens. I don't want DC deciding what happens, just like no other state wants Indiana to decide what happens. Okay, leave us alone. We will decide what happens. Make this a fair election. Let's do this the right way. If you think your guy's the best, put your money where your mouth is. Stop the bull crap about getting these illegals registered to vote. Get it out of there. Let's do a fair election and see what happens. They don't want to do that because they know what's going to happen. Folks, Mexican cartels have some weaponry. Somebody needs to explain to me how they got it. But, and I don't think we want them to have it. Mexican drug cartels are reportedly arming up to show incoming President Claudia Sheinbaum they are loaded with weaponry, including tank-busting FGM-148 Javelin infrared guided missile launchers made by U.S. defense contractors. They say it's to show this president of Mexico and future presidents of Mexico don't mess with the drug cartel. Don't mess with us. We have these weapons. How did they get them? That's my question. How in the world did they get them? Because the Pentagon spokesman said they don't show any loss in inventory for these weapons. Okay, so here's my conspiracy theory thinking process, and I think others out there are probably thinking the same way. If they're being honest with us to tell us that they show no inventory loss, do you think maybe they're supplying them? Because what did President Trump say that if he was elected as president, what he will do? He will use the United States military against the drug cartel. Do you think this administration is arming the cartel in case President Trump is elected? I'm not. I've not seen any results of that. This is my own conspiracy theory hat that's coming on, but I think it's interesting to note. I really do. How did they get these weapons? Yet we won't send weapons to Israel to help them against Hamas. It baffles the mind, folks, how the liberal left continues to make America look stupid. Okay. Now, I am not saying that they are arming. I'm not saying the Biden administration is arming the cartels in Mexico. I am not saying that, but I'm wondering how in the hell they got them. If the Pentagon is telling us they show no loss in inventory. Anyway, that I think is something to pay attention to, and I think that's very important to watch. So we are going to continue on with some polling. Polling. Who wants polling? I don't like polling. I don't like polling either. But there's one scary poll that has come out by Reuters and Ipsos. Only Michelle Obama bests Trump as an alternative to Biden, because I'm going to get into this whole as we end this show. Now all of a sudden you see everybody's turning on Biden. Former First Lady Michael / Michelle Obama is the only hypothetical presidential candidate alternative that can beat presumptive Republican president nominee Donald Trump. I completely disagree with this, but hey, they can do what they want to do. It's their poll, right? Not only is Michelle Obama the only hypothetical alternative who beats Trump in polling, but she also tops the chart's favorability among registered voters, with Trump and President Joe Biden trailing her by more than 10 percentage points. How scary is that? I mean, honestly, a woman who hates this country, who said she hated this country until her husband became president, who, even when she lived in the White House, hated living in the White House, hated it, wasn't shy about it, hated it. You want her to be president? Okay. I don't. And I know a lot of people watching the show and on the Patriots Prayer Network, they don't. But yeah, this is kind of weird. But nearly 60% agree Biden should drop out of the race. That included 33% of them Democrats. Again, Democrats are stupid. They still don't get it. We all saw the debate. Not only the debate, you see his speeches. Sorry, there's a dog in the background. Apologize for that. Now, all hypothetical Democrat candidates either perform similarly or worse than Biden against Trump. For instance, Vice President Kamala Harris. Folks, listen to this. Vice President Kamala Harris loses by 1 point to President Trump, 43-42. Does anybody buy that? No way in heck is Kamala Harris only 1 point behind President Trump. There is no way. California Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom, who I think is eventually going to be running, is 3 points behind President Trump. And I think he's going to drop even more because California's a mess. And do you really want that coming to a country near you? I don't. And then all other hypothetical Democrat candidates were between 34 and 39% against President Trump. So he would basically beat everybody but Michael Obama, which I still don't buy that. So, and we know that from the debate, the Democrats are now jumping ship, right? There's a number of Democrat Congress people that are saying, let's get him out of here. Let's get him out of here. 25 House Dems, folks. 25 House Dems prepare to call on Biden to step down. There's only one way you can replace him now, I believe, if I'm hearing everything right and I'm seeing how everything is set up. But again, Democrats don't care about laws. They don't care about rules. They don't give a shit. They don't care. Excuse my language, but that's the way it is. You really can't do it now. Okay. The only way you can do it is the 25th Amendment. Okay. But you got the cabinet, Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris has to address the cabinet and request implementing the 25th Amendment. And then they have to be voted. And then if they vote to remove him, then he goes away for, I don't know, a sequestered amount of time until he can be checked again to make sure he is able to. So we're talking time here. So then once that's done and we know they're going to decide he's not capable of doing it, then it's official. Kamala Harris becomes president. Scary thought. Oh boy. But that's what they're trying to do right now. And it's because the Democrats, I have never seen. I saw Jake Tapper yesterday. Jake Tapper actually questioning people about their support over Biden. Questioning them. Jake Tapper, who basically accuses President Trump of being Hitler. All right. What he's jumping ship now? Everybody's jumping ship. They saw what happened. The media should be very, very upset at themselves and at the administration because they were being told what to say, what to do by the administration. They can say whatever they want. They're Rachel Maddow's of the world, Jake Tapper's of the world, Joy Reid's of the world. You're told by the administration what to say, how to say it, and you say it. Okay, you're controlled by them. You're controlled by the left. Live with it, deal with it. We know. You guys have to understand that. So now all of a sudden, this guy comes out there and looks terrible, proving what we and all the conservative networks out there have been saying. There's something wrong with this guy. So now it was evident. All America saw it. So now you have to backtrack. Okay, now I love it with the ones that are trying to double down. That's even better. But you have these people starting to turn now because the American people aren't stupid. Some of them are, okay, especially the ones who are still saying that they're going to vote for a Democrat because they want the country to go to hell, I guess. I don't know. But so we've got this going on, and the left is running rampant. We've said on this show, well before we came on the Patriots Prayer Network, we've been saying that we do not think President Biden will be the eventual running against President Trump. I have been believing that Gavin Newsom would do it. And Gavin Newsom would do it by not getting anything elected, but Gavin Newsom would do it by the 25th Amendment or Biden stepping down, Harris becoming president. Harris does not want to run for president. So then Gavin Newsom then becomes that. That's how I figured would happen down the road and all that stuff. Now, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, been wrong many times, but that's where I think it's heading. And the Democrats are starting to really bail. I mean, it's funny. Just 2 weeks ago, he was the best president ever. President Biden's playing chess while President Trump's playing hungry hippos, is the comment Joy Reid said. So, yeah, I think they're starting to be proven wrong. But when you're controlled by the government media, by the way, when you're a government-controlled media source, that's not democracy. That's not a constitutional republic. Just saying. Anyway, okay, the last poll that I'm going to talk about before we go into some other things. And wrap it up. There's an election model that came out and said Trump will win popular vote by a wide margin. Republican hadn't won popular vote since President George Bush did. Okay. That was in 2004, and he had 50.73%. Silver's election model forecast is the first time it predicted Trump would defeat Biden with the popular vote. Trump was previously behind by 2 points 1 day before the debate, and the forecast predicted it. Okay, the probability that Trump will win the Electoral College, the process by which the election is decided, is 68.4%. President Joe Biden's chance of re-election are 31%. Silver, who exited the 538 in 2023, released the model on June 30th, 3 days after the debate. Before the debate, Silver gave Trump a 65.7% chance to win. So he got a 3-point bump since the debate. So basically what this is saying is President Trump is going to get not only enough votes to carry the electoral college, the electoral vote, but also the popular vote. So, which is very important because we believed he did get the popular vote in 2020, but hey, what are we to say? Okay, folks, let's hear from President Reagan one more time. This is 1:41, so it's not as long as the other two. It's shorter, but I just love hearing from him. I could play his stuff all day. Big Reagan guy. So here it is.
Ours was the first revolution in the history of mankind that truly reversed the course of government, and with 3 little words: we the people. We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car, and we decide where it should go and by what route and how fast. Almost all the world's constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are. Our Constitution is a document in which we, the people, tell the government what it is allowed to do. We, the people, are free. This belief has been the underlying basis for everything I've tried to do these past 8 years. But back in the 1960s, when I began, it seemed to me that we'd begun reversing the order of things, that through more and more rules and regulations and confiscatory taxes, the government was taking more of our money, more of our options, and more of our freedom. I went into politics in part to put up my hand and say, stop. I was a citizen politician, and it seemed the right thing for a citizen to do. I think we have stopped a lot of what needed stopping, and I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited. There's a clear cause and effect here that is as neat and predictable as a law of physics. As government expands, liberty contracts.
Anybody else get goosebumps? I love our listeners and our viewers. They're very they're very good. I did not realize it, folks. I did not do it on purpose, but we're going to show. Apparently, my arms were matching, so it was like President Reagan's arms were mine, and I thought that was. And then that was from Coco Dominki, and then here's Moto Cowboy. Loves how my arms were. So, and then Coco also put, "I miss this man." Who doesn't? I mean, in all honesty, who does not miss him? I mean, how can you not miss him? You hear what he said. We the people, folks, not them. Do you think AOC? Do you think Chuck Schumer? Do you think Nancy Pelosi? Do you think they think we the people? No, they say you people will do what we tell you to do. That's what they want. That's what we're fighting for. This is what we have to do. And I thought it was perfectly timed to play those speeches that I played today, 2 from Reagan, 1 from Limbaugh, to basically say July 4th is coming up. This is the birth of our country. We had young men fighting and dying for us to be free. We're not perfect. We never were perfect. We never claimed to be perfect. There was mistakes that happened everywhere. It happens all the time. But our freedom has always been there. Has always been there. And they want to take it away. They literally want to take our freedoms away. We know that. They accuse us of doing it, but that's not the point. They want us. They want big government to control us, to control what we do, to control what we say. So we got I like to get on my tangent. So Dale, sorry, you know I go on these sometimes, and it is what it is. It is what happens. But folks, July 4th, I want you to do many things. I want you to be safe. Okay. I want you to enjoy the more expensive food that's out there now. Other than chicken, I hear chicken's down, but everything else is up. But please go out and be responsible. Always remember what this country's about. Always remember we patriots, all of us, the ones watching, the ones commenting, I love you all. We make the decisions. We decide, not people who are writing down their voter pages when they do that, the ballot. They're not creating their, those aren't the ones. We, the people, we decide what we do. That's just the way it is. That's how it always has been. When we have bigger government, it's never a good thing. I mean, look what's happened to the education system. We're putting more government involved. The education system's a dying mess right now. You see this Harry Sisson's one of these people that come out of here. So it's just, we have to fight for this country, but please celebrate this weekend. Be safe, celebrate, know where we're at. Fly your flags. Yes, we need to do that. Moto cowboy. Fly your, not American pride flags, not the pride flags. I'm sure that's what he meant, but we want to definitely make sure that we do that. So we want to move forward, have fun, but God bless America. Keep America in mind. Pray for us. Just pray that we do it. Enjoy those hamburgers. And if you like bourbon, folks, enjoy a bourbon on me. Okay. I'm drinking with you. I'll be drinking with you this weekend. So, folks, I'm going to end it. I'll come back and say my last goodbyes, but I am going to end it with something that we've been doing a lot here lately. But I think it's something that we need to do. It is Natasha Owens. For those of you who have been watching us here lately, we play her. She's a phenomenal singer. She's sang the Chosen One, which she got in a lot of trouble for. But then she also sang a song, Trump Won. Second, Defense the First. You gotta watch that. But I'm gonna play the Star Spangled Banner, and then I'll come back and say my goodbyes. Here you go. Enjoy.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous height, oh, the ramparts we were so gallantly streaming, and the
Lady H. McGrowan, that is Natasha Owens. That rendition of the national anthem, she's been guest on our show. You can go back and watch some of our previous shows. I believe it was the third episode. We had her on. We interviewed her. She's a phenomenal singer. She's fabulous. She sang for President Trump at Mar-a-Lago. She's just phenomenal. You heard her. But it's NatashaOwens.com. You can go out, you can look at her, listen to her music, go on YouTube. She still has it on YouTube. I think The Chosen One, I think she's got it on there now because it was one of those things that, offends people, I guess. I don't know. But when she wrote the song, The Chosen One, she was not saying he was Jesus reincarnated. She was just saying that he's the chosen one because we have always said we need him now. We needed him in 2016. We needed him in 2020, but we need him even more in 2024. So, but that's Natasha Owens. Her songs are incredible. The Second Defends the First, great song. It talks about how the Second Amendment defends the First Amendment, right speech, all that. And but Trump Won song, upbeat, kind of a in-your-face type of song, and it's fabulous, fantastic. Yeah, thank you, Buckeye McGrowan. You are a solid listener, and you're always on it. Always on time and always great. So thank you very much. Folks, have a safe weekend. God bless America. God bless all of you. And let's remember this, all these liberals have other places to go to around the world if they want to go live. They can go up north to Canada and live the life they want to live. We only have one country, and we got to fight for it. We got to keep it. God bless all of you. Be safe. Enjoy your time. God bless America. Thank you.